hanging in there. Wait for some people to get on because this is an important message that a lot of people would probably find interesting. It's a very important topic. It's not very important, but it's interesting, I think. Hey, Jonah.
Yo.
I'm going to tell them how to start their own supplement company, or at least how we did it.
Oh, there we go.
I'll wait for at least, I don't know, a couple people to get on. I'm going to wait for some people to get on before I lay into it and I tell you guys the backstory. Tell you guys the backstory of how Anabolic Outlaws was formed. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and lay into it, alright? It's like this, guys. 9 years ago, I used to work at a power plant. 10 years ago, I used to work at a power plant, okay? And when I was on that power plant, obviously, I was like, dang, I want to do something other than this for the rest of my life, okay? And I always thought to myself, what if I could start my own supplement company, okay? And this pertains to a lot of people watching this video because I see a lot of people who are trying to do the same thing, okay? And I can tell you right now, it's a hell of a lot harder than it looks, okay? Number one, today is not like it was 10 years ago. And I can tell you right now, I got lucky as hell to get in when I did, because right now, if I tried to do the same thing, it would cost an insane amount of money just to be able to brand myself. Whereas years ago, you could put a post and people would see the post. Nowadays, unless you're putting a bunch of money behind that post, especially if it's a business marketing post, no one's going to see the post. Facebook knows that's how Facebook makes their money. And I can tell you right now, back in the day when I first started, I don't even believe you could boost a post. But over time, it took me a long time, to be honest with you. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are coming up with their own products, this and that. But the biggest thing is going to be marketing. I know a lot of times people are like, for instance, they're like, oh, well, I got this new formula. This is going to be the greatest pre-workout people have ever had. Well, chances are that formula has already been tested with another company for the most part. Because as I've mentioned before, supplements are all made in the same facility generally. The same people, all right, that you see making my products make other products as well for other companies. Okay, that's how the supplement industry works. All the manufacturers manufacture the same products for the different companies. So an owner of a company is basically like, hey, you know, I need XYZ. I need you to put YZKLZ10 into the formula, and you know, I'll go ahead and negotiate a price, and then they make those products. Well, the problem is, it's initially, in order to get the products priced low enough to where you can actually make any money off of them, you got to buy a shitload of them. And unfortunately, if there's a change in the laws or anything like that, I've seen that happen where people have invested thousands of dollars in product and then they end up changing the laws. Now all of a sudden, you know, the owner's stuck with a bunch of product they can't sell. Or even more common case scenario, a guy tries to sell a bunch of pre-workout and then he's stuck with it and he can't sell it. I mean, that happens more time than not, because the supplement industry is probably one of the most heavy, saturated, competitive markets in the internet. And if you think about it, like, a lot of times people ask me, well, you know, how do you compete in Lakeland and everything else with so-and-so? I'm like, I'm not competing in Lakeland. I've got to compete with everybody all over the country. And that's where it's different, because when you've branded yourself online, you don't give a shit about what the guy's doing, you know, 10 miles away from you, because that really doesn't affect you. It's you're competing with everybody across the entire nation. And that's where it's a little bit different, and it takes a long time, and you've got to establish yourself, and you've got to be able to give the customers more than just supplements, right? So Anabolic Outlaws prides itself on being interactive with the customers. Basically, I give you myself, the owner of the company, I give you a one-on-one relationship with me, whereas with a lot of other companies selling similar products, you're not going to get that same relationship with the business owner. okay? And again, it doesn't make us any better than those companies, but what it does is it just gives you guys a different experience, so then it can justify you guys investing with our company over the thousands of other companies there are out there. So that's how we're different. You want to make sure that you would do that also with your brand. Make sure that you differentiate yourself from everybody else, because if you think a website and a pre-workout is going to make you a millionaire, you're sadly mistaken, because it's going to take a hell of a lot of marketing to be able to get that pre-workout to be sold online or even locally, because people aren't familiar with it. So it's going to take a lot of brand recognition and marketing, and that takes time. And it's funny, I see a lot of people out there, nobody these days is willing to take the time to go through the rough patches of grass it takes to get to the good side. Everybody wants to just jump up and be the CEO, driving the Ferrari, in the jet, with the helicopter. They want to do that the second they put up the website. And that's all good and dandy to dream, but there's a lot of people that have lost their fucking ass buying a bunch of supplements that they can't sell because it is a very tough market, or they end up having to sell the products for less than they paid for them, because that happens more times than not. The odds are against you. But if you're someone who thinks you can push past the rough patches and brand yourself and get your name out there to where people start engaging in your your content, that's what's going to separate you, because you can't pay for everything, right? Like, if I had to pay for every single thing that I did, I would never even have a company. I got to do this shit myself. I got to work in the store. I got to clean fucking toilets if I got to clean toilets. I got to answer the phone. I got to pack packages. I've got to do all those things in this company because we're so small, and that's how we're able to survive, is because we have such low overhead. We're able to give you guys the products at a reasonable price because I don't have to pay for all those people to do those jobs. I do them myself for free. Well, not for free, but you know what I mean. It's a whole lot cheaper than having a giant staff full of people. So I will say this, again, I've already warned, it is a tough industry. You got to know your supplements. What I would suggest, the first thing you should do, you can always start, online, and try to brand yourself, get some t-shirts made, get some merchandise made. If you got a catchy logo that you want to put on your products, that's always something that you can do, and maybe it'll catch on, and maybe you'll be able to sell a little bit, as you go. But I would suggest white labeling in the beginning. What I mean by white labeling is what you would piggyback off another company. So if you call up a wholesale distributor or maker of supplements and say, okay, who do you have that's a major player? Just have them run a little bit extra of what they're making, tweak the formula, so obviously you're not infringing on any of their copyrights, and then call it your own, and you'll usually get a better deal and get the units priced lower if you're able to piggyback off large companies. Piggybacking is key, okay? It's not that the products are at any less of a value or less of a quality. It's that you're piggybacking off the large volumes that these other companies are producing, and you're able to take advantage of those bulk discounts. And that's how you're going to be able to make your money, because $2-3 a unit, that is a major difference. Okay, that is the difference between going bankrupt and the difference between expanding. Okay, you're also going to have to be creative with your marketing. Okay, you can't keep doing the same shit every other swinging dick online is doing. Okay, you got to make sure that you're original, because let's face it, you're competing with every single motherfucker on Facebook, Instagram, any social media platform you can think of. You got to come up with something different. You got to have a marketable look to you. You got to do something that's going to get people to listen to you and engage in what you're doing. And you got to do more than just advertise shit. Like, I know there's a lot of companies that's like all it is one big advertisement. Let's face it. Most people don't want to sit there and watch fucking commercials all day. I know I don't, right? So you have to give them some type of an entertainment value that goes along with the brand, so that they have an excuse to watch the videos. And then you are able to obviously display the products and the brand to them inside those pieces of entertainment, okay? And instead of it being one big commercial and just saying, oh, my shit's the best, my shit's the best. People get sick and tired of hearing that, because there's so many people saying the same fucking thing, doing the same thing. You got to do something that's going to be different. And, these are all things that you can start and do. Obviously, I'd start your YouTube channel, Start a Facebook page, start building that up. That's the first thing you can do. It doesn't cost you anything. It does take some work. It does take some time, but if you intend on doing something online, I would suggest you start doing that now, because you're going to have to do it eventually, period, or you're never going to survive. If you don't have, you can't borrow a bunch of money from some poor schmuck, and then, when you can't sell the products, then tell the guy, hey, sorry, it didn't work out, you're fucked. Like, you're going to have to take on some of the risk yourself and be able to put your own ass in the air if you're going to be the owner of a company. And that's one thing that pisses me off, because I always hear about people that have conned other people into taking financial risks so that they can better themselves, where it's like, if they were really worthy of being the business owner, they'd be able to have that, at least absorb some of that financial risk when creating the company. Because a lot of times when it goes bad, they walk away and they leave the poor guy who they conned out of the money, which I guess, they kind of deserve it, because if you think about it, if you're stupid enough to let somebody, con you into some bullshit, then, obviously I guess you had it coming. But I would say this, it's a very hard business to get into, but you can be done. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Anybody watching this video can do it. I would suggest just having the most open and be honest with people. People are not stupid. People know, the supplement industry. They've seen enough documentaries. They've heard enough shit. They've read enough stuff to know when you're lying to them and when you're telling the truth. And it always pays to be as upfront and honest as possible, because that's what's going to get you that trust. And that's where you're going to be able to, you're going to be more successful in that aspect, okay? If you guys have any questions, please feel free to contact us. If you are interested in starting a supplement business, please let me know. I'd love to be able to give you some pointers. I'm very open. I like to help out just about anybody that I can. Man, it's customer service. Excellent. Awesome. I'm glad, dude. I'm glad you are taking part in the AOMed program. I was also going to mention that. That's actually a separate section of our company. AOMed is like over here to the left, and then you've got Anabolic Outlaws, which is the supplement side. I'm more involved with the supplement side, but I'm involved with both. But I'm glad you are having a good experience with AOMed, and that you had a good customer service with them. That makes me know that they're doing their job, because I bought into that company. I wanted to make sure that it had every bit as much as integrity as Anabolic Outlaws AO Nutrition has. So I hope that you're experiencing having an awesome experience with that. If you have any other questions, please feel free to contact me. And for those of you who don't know what AOMed is, Jonah, go ahead and put the link up. Got you. AOMed is the prescribed testosterone, prescribed HGH, prescribed anabolic compounds that you can get through our company. So Jonah's going to go ahead. Keep looking at the education I'm learning from you. Awesome, dude. Shane, awesome. Thank you so much for that compliment. I really appreciate it. Jonah's going to go ahead and put up the website if you guys are interested. You can get testosterone prescribed. You can get a lot of the anabolic compounds that you guys are looking for prescribed that you would normally get on the streets, or for some overseas lab illegally. You can get them legally through our AOMed program. Chuck, I'm interested in starting a supplement company. How do I start? What do I do? The first thing I would do, bro, is I would start a fan page and think of your brand name. That's the first thing you're going to want to do, dude. You got to brand yourself. The first thing you got to do is brand yourself. You don't run out and say, I got to think of a formula. Don't even worry about the formula. Don't worry about any of that. You got to brand yourself. Think about what your brand's going to be about. Think about what your marketing strategy is going to be about, because that's the most important thing. It's a lot of times people think of, I got this supplement that, is state of the art, and, it's going to make your dick grow 10 inches after, a week taking it. Like, look, it doesn't matter what it is. If it's not branded, you're not going to be able to move it. So you're going to have to brand your product. And I would suggest getting on YouTube, start your social media, start bringing traffic to your page and your brand, and then you can slowly start introducing merchandise and products to it and grow it from there. Because those are some of the mistakes that I made in the beginning. First, AO, or Anabolic Outlaws, was going to be a t-shirt company at the very beginning 10 years ago. But then I learned very quickly that it was better to give the t-shirts away than it was to try to sell the t-shirts, because let's face it, people tend to buy t-shirts maybe once, twice, maybe a month, whereas supplements, they're buying that shit all the time. And that's the difference. You're able to survive with a less volume of customers than you are with a t-shirt company, where if you're not in a major department store, it's pretty hard to make money. So if you want this to be your full-time job, obviously I would try to learn as much as you can about supplements, the different supplements, what they do to the body, the legalities behind them, because there's a lot of products that are gray area when it comes to the supplement industry. My advice would be, if you're going to dabble with that, I would make sure that you know what the laws are, and make sure that you're not doing anything illegal, because it will come back to bite you in the ass eventually. There are a lot of people that I used to know when I first started that are in jail today, or facing jail time for some of the things that they did. And it is what it is. I hear about it all the time, and I can tell you right now, it's not worth it in the long run, because all that hard work you put in, if you do one little thing that screws with a customer, you could have a major issue on your hands. So it's better to be as safe and pump out good quality products from a GMP facility than to go the other way and take risks. And it's also funny, because I've also heard other people have asked me, what do I think about the other companies out there that are facing criminal charges? I don't want to see anybody go to jail. People going to jail over selling supplements is not a good thing for anybody. Okay, it doesn't make me happy to see other people going to jail for selling supplements. Okay, it's not going to be a good thing for anybody if that starts to happen, obviously, because we want to make sure that people have good quality supplements that work. And love your enthusiasm and passion. People needing more. Awesome. Thank you so much for that compliment. I'm just trying to be as real as possible, because I gotta be different somehow. Obviously, there's a pretty darn big amount of people doing the same thing as me, and I got to try to give people something that's different. Let me see. Tamara Cross, thank you very much for that compliment. So I just want to let you guys know that stuff. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. I'm always here. I'm here. Jonah's here. Roby's here. And we're going to be getting in some other new people to be able to help you guys on the live chat, or if you have any other questions regarding our products or the AOMed program. Again, I was going to get into the AOMed program is prescribed. These are the medications that you can get prescribed that a lot of times people are getting from overseas. Hint, hint, steroids. But they're prescribed, so it's 100% legal. And you can get that through our AOMed program, as Jonah put on the link on there. And you'll fill out the HIPAA form the same as you would when you go to the doctor, or you're going to the dentist or the eye doctor or whatever, the optometrist. And the doctor will follow up with you, take a look at your blood work, and they will be able to prescribe you the anabolic compounds, the hormones that are controlled substances, and you won't be breaking the law. So that's and plus you want to make sure you have your blood work checked anyway, because over time, I can't tell you how many people would probably be still walking around living that quote unquote died from anabolic steroids, because what happens is over time it eats away at your body. You have an underlying issue that you don't really look at because you're not getting your blood work taken, and then all of a sudden you've got plaque in your arteries, or you've got cancer, or you've got something wrong with you. Whereas if it was caught early through a blood test, they could have you had a better chance of surviving. So I can tell you right now, it does behoove you, especially if you're taking anabolic compounds, you want to make damn sure you are getting your blood work checked. I don't want to mention any names, because there's been a lot of people that have had their lives shortened because they chose to take the anabolic compounds, but they also failed to get their blood work tested to see if they had anything underlying issues that they were not, experiencing maybe any effects of, but it was eating away at their bodies. And I can tell you right now, it's well worth it. So if you have any questions, once again, please feel free to contact us. Check out our sale. We're running a badass sale. It's $150 off. If you spend $150, you're basically going to get your order doubled, because you're going to be able to get Androdrol and Scorpion tabs absolutely free. That's $140 savings if you go over that $150 mark. If you go over the $100 mark, you'll get the Androdrol free. So we're going to double it up any way you cut the pie. I want to be able to give you guys as much as I possibly can, especially if you're investing in our company, because you guys are Without you guys, I wouldn't be here right now, and I'm damn grateful for every single person, every single fan, and every single customer that we have. So if you have any questions, please feel free to contact us anytime. Have an awesome kick-ass week. Late.